A sellout crowd brought to vibrant life. The tradition here, they'll stand until the Friars make their first bucket. We welcome you back to the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Here are the starters. Marquette had the same lineup for 13 straight games. 2 games ago, in the midst of a slide, made a change. The additions, Dwayne Wilson, Matt Helt, Andrew Rousey, they're all in there for a 3rd straight game as they go for a 3rd straight win. The Friars have won 4 in a row, and Kyron Cartwright has been dominant. He had 18 points the last time these teams met. The head man for the Marquette Golden Eagles, Steve Wojciechowski, 2-time National Defensive Player of the Year in his days with Duke. He challenged his team today to match the energy and toughness of Ed Cooley's squad. Ed Cooley inherited a program that had a losing record in 6 of the prior 10 seasons, 1 tournament appearance. His Friars down the stretch here, Brendan, are bidding for a 4th straight ticket to the Big Dance.
It's amazing what Ed Cooley has done with this program. A great turnaround. I'm happy for him, and I love the success that they've been having recently.
Opening tap. Whistle blares first. Matt Helt at 6'10", making just his 4th start. The sophomore who had his first career double-double against St. John's on Tuesday wins the tap to the 17-year-old Howard, and we're underway.
It's going to be really interesting to see how this game is played. Talking to both coaching staff, they understand that the game will be won between who defends the three-point line the best. Both coaches stated they want the other team run off the three-point line, force that team to take contested twos. Let's see who executes the best.
Rousey on high, rains it down.
And Coach Cooley definitely won't be happy about that. One of the first things he talked about is how to play the screen and roll. They wanted to switch 1 through 4, and they wanted to ice on the side, which is basically forcing the screen and roll down to the baseline. That is not what they talked about in the shoot-around, so I know he would not be happy about that.
And here's some aggressive doubling that fades on Cartwright, containing his electric speed paramount.
Yeah, Cartwright averaging about 7 assists a game. He's a great playmaker. He makes things happen for all his teammates. And as a player, you love to play with guys like that, guys that make your job easier.
Free throw line J is off for Emmett Holt, the Indiana/junior college transfer. Deep look from 3.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Hello. He's not shooting 54% from 3 for no reason. He gets 3s in bunches, had 9 threes just a game ago. So he's one of these guys that you have to know where he is, and you can't give Howard any space. You have to make sure that he is inside the three-point line when he takes his shots.
Aggressive, physical man-to-man early from Marquette. And a whistle off balls. Howard bumped on the end line. But he can shoot it.
Yeah, he can definitely shoot it. And one of the things, when they were going through the shoot-around this morning in practice, Coach Cooley was talking about when you switch, they have to switch aggressively. They wanted to switch and be up into their man, force those guys to drive, and then you're going to have what they like to call gap defense, where you plug the gap to the help side defender. That is not what happened on that possession right there.
Now to Howard, his first. Oh, the selfishness.
Great pass. Cartwright with a great job right there.
And all the fans can take a seat as Providence finally has its first bucket. Cartwright a stumble. Howard sees a seam. Rousey unleashes.
Right now, Marquette's getting exactly what they want. They live at this three-point line, and they're getting exactly the type of shots. This is the type of ball games they want to play.
Both teams 12 of 24 from 3 last time out, but there's an offensive on Alpha Diallo, the young freshman.
Howard, known for his offense, this is great defense right here. Ran his man off the three-point shot, was in a great stance, and then was able to take the charge right in the chest. That's excellent.
On some weave at the other end. Howard off the Helt screen. A long 2 is true.
He's getting warmed up early. It's amazing to think this guy's only 17 years old. The sky's the limit for him. He gets a couple more years underneath his belt. It wouldn't surprise me if he turns into an 18 to 20 point per game scorer for this Marquette team in the future.
He'll turn 18 on Friday. Reclassified, left high school a year early. Oh, what a job to jump the pass out of bounds off Marquette. The active hands of Sam Hauser. Ed Cooley, a fiery head coach. He's challenging his team to bring it in terms of energy and toughness.
Well, one of the 2 things that Cooley talked about today was You're right. Talking about the energy, the toughness, the three-point line. But then another thing you talked about was the physicalness. He wanted to be very physical with Marquette. He wanted to win the game at the front of the rim. He wanted his team to challenge them there.
They are stopping the contest to check on some moisture on the floor. This was an issue during Providence's shoot-around today. There is ice underneath this surface. The Bruins AAA team in the American Hockey League plays here, played a game last night. But when we asked, does this commonly happen, we were told no.
Yeah, and we saw it this morning. We saw some players having some problems with their footing on that side of the court exactly. They had to actually move to the other end. It looked like they had basically taken care of things, but obviously some of that ice is seeping up through the wood.
And we got word from one of our officials that there is a lot of slick track on the scorer's table on that side near the Marquette bench that's seeping onto the floor. This is a very veteran crew. Ed Corbin, who's worked 6 Final Fours. His first ever Division I game, oddly enough, came here at Providence, Princeton and Brown back in 1988. Gary Prager, Lamar Simpson, who worked the Sweet 16 last year with Nova and Miami, and they're right on top of it. Player safety of paramount concern.
Well, they have to make sure they get this worked out because a slippery floor is a very dangerous floor. That's how guys can get hurt. And you don't want that type of thing because the game is played at a fast pace anyway, and when guys can't stop and get the right type of traction, injuries can become very prevalent. You don't want to see that at all.
Tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern on CBS. Don't miss The American, as the toughest competitors in the world will ride away with rodeo's biggest one-day payout. The B&W Trailer Hitches The American, presented by Kubota, only on CBS Sports. So it appears they've remedied the moisture issue. Cartwright gingerly continues to stretch himself out some. Cartwright, who served as understudy to Chris Dunn the last couple of years, the 2-time Big East Player of the Year, 5th overall pick by the Timberwolves. He has taken this point guard job and run with it.
Yeah, he really has. And he's very electric, very fast and quick. I think he's one of the fastest players in the Big East from end to end. And not only does some guys use their speed to get their shots, I love the fact that he uses his speed to involve his teammates. That's why he averages about 7 assists per game. That's good for about 5th in the country.
And that's what Steve Wojciechowski spoke about when we chatted with him earlier today. He said last year, as the secondary option in the backcourt, he could get to the rim and be able to finish. But where he's evolved is that involving the entire offense and expanding his shooting range, making him harder to defend.
And that's a very tough thing to do because it's easy when you're just looking for your own shot, but it's very hard when you have the task of trying to get others involved.
So we just got a word from our officials that the whole arena is very slippery. They're huddling up now to talk things over. And the word from our officials, this is on us. If we can't remedy the slippery nature, we will shut down the game.
And I think that's the right thing to do. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to see a kid have an ACL injury or an Achilles injury based on a sloppy floor. You want to stay away from those types of situations at all if possible.
Cartwright.
And we talked about his passing ability, but hey, don't sleep on him as a shot maker. That was a nice mid-range pull-up jumper.
We'll see how that little hiccup might affect the rhythm. Marquette was cooking.
Especially this guy right here. Howard was definitely cooking.
Offensive foul! A second foul on Marcus Howard.
That's big. That's big. 2 fouls on Marcus Howard. That's going to be huge. Cartwright guessed right there. He really anticipated where Howard was going, jumped up, took the charge squarely. At first, I didn't think it was a charge, but watching the replay, it was definitely a charge. Great defensive play by Cartwright.
Now, if any team in America can handle it, it's Marquette. Remember, they have 3 very new faces to the starting lineup, and this is a team that has 6 men averaging double figures, joining only UCLA.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that everybody can get it done. They're not a top-heavy team. They're a team that has scoring all over, and it's very equally balanced.
But there, no defense for the backdoor cutting Cartwright. He's got 4 points early. Wilson feeds the screener, held, head faked, and hit bottom backboard, tied up. Jump ball or no? Held took a stumble. And jump ball confirmed.
I like the big man keeping his hands up high. He didn't foul. Use the rules of verticality, and then hey, that's my ball. Oh, a little bit extra at the end. But you know what? That's what Coach Cooley wants. He wants his team to play physical. He wants them to play with an edge. He wants them to play like this is the most important game of the season. And look at him walking up and down the sideline. You can see he's charged up for this game. I'm sure if you put a jersey on him, he might be able to go out there and get you 10 to 15 points right now, especially with his newfound weight loss.
Played high school just a mile away. Providence through and through. Went to Division II Stonehill. Cartwright feeds Khalif Young. Strong with the left hand.
Cartwright saw he had the mismatch and he attacked it all the way. Made a great dime. Young was able to finish inside.
And a foul off ball as soon as Marquette set up shop. Even with slick conditions, this young man, it's almost like he has ice skates on.
Oh, yeah. The conditions are slick, but his handles are even slicker. Young, great finish, took his time, got right to his jump hook. I like the energy that Providence has come out with early on. And right there, even though Wilson was able to hit that shot, that is exactly the type of defense that Ed Cooley wants. Challenge the three-point shooter, run him off the three-point line, force him to take a contested two.
Rousey behind the back!
Wilson's got to finish that, but that was a nice pass by Rousey.
The shovel to Bullock, lost the handle. Marquette furiously trying to call timeout, didn't have possession. We can see the effect of these slick conditions. Footing not strong, the game electric. A 2-point difference. A couple of teams not predicted to be players in the Big East this year. Marquette preseason number 7, Providence preseason number 9. But the Golden Eagles began the day tied for 4th. The Friars just a game back tied for 6th. And the head-to-head games, Brendan Haywood, will play a huge role in which Big East teams can get an at-large berth.
Yeah, the head-to-head games will definitely be huge, especially when the committee looks at where did you play, who did you beat. And so when they look at those type of situations, these type of games will come into play. So this game is very important for both squads. I think it's a little bit more important for Providence because right now they're under 500 in the Big East, and they need to, because the Big East isn't perceived as a super strong conference this year, they need to find a way to get over 500.
See Rodney Bullock on the bench. His numbers all zeros, 1 giveaway. They called a jump ball on that tie-up that brought us to break.
And that's been the question or the enigma when it comes down to Rodney Bullock is that at the start of games, for some reason, he won't start well. Now, he'll find a way, as Ed Cooley told us, he'll find a way to get his 16 to 17 points because he's a dynamic player. But early in the game, when they really want to get him jump-started, for some reason, it just hasn't been falling for him lately.
It's falling for Rousey. He's got 6 points. Also, players are still stumbling some. Some slick conditions. They were on the floor for Providence shoot-around this morning. And at the advent of this game, that was continuously the case, particularly right around where Providence has the ball right now. Aggressive drive, and Isaiah Jackson banks it home.
Isaiah Jackson playing very aggressive lately. He's one of those guys, they want him to play with reckless abandon and just be aggressive as soon as he gets on the court. Don't worry about fouls, don't worry about charges. Just give us a spark. Give us some type of energy.
Rousey trying to get a little cute again.
That was Jackson with the steal, too.
Cartwright, no look.
Great pass. The more and more you watch Cartwright play, the more and more you fall in love with his game because he has the speed to get anywhere he wants to, but he has the unselfishness and the court vision to help out all his teammates at all times.
Jawan Johnson darting to the rim, wave it off on the floor.
Cartwright right here, getting out in transition, drawing the defender, quick scoop pass, Young with the nice finish. You can't draw it up any better. When you start doing 3-on-2, 2-on-1 fast breaks at the beginning of training camp, these are the type of fast breaks that you like to see from the team. Great execution from Cartwright.
David Holt back in. Foul went to Khalif Young, his first. Alpha Diallo, who has a foul, returns to the fray. So Rousey will trigger. He's been the hot hand early. He had 23 the last time these teams met.
Better find where that guy's at, man.
Aggressive job by Lindsey. And also, this is the only second or third possession for Luke Fisher. Fisher, a big fellow, transferred in out of Indiana, nearly 7 feet tall, but has been marred by foul issues, fouled out, playing 11 and 12 minutes in the last 2 games, respectively.
And sometimes when you're a big man, it takes a little bit of time to understand how to play without fouling. And playing without fouling is key to being successful. You have to know how to play big, give your team a strong presence at the rim, like that right there with the strong dunk. But at the same time, you can't commit the silly fouls. Big, sometimes they bring their hands down instead of keeping them straight up, and that has led to a lot of Fisher's foul troubles.
Remember, Marcus Howard on the bench for Marquette with a couple of fouls. Anif Cheatham is ready to sub in for the Golden Eagles. Lindsey thought wiser. Feed the feeder!
Great pass. I love this Providence. I love this Providence ball movement early on. It's been aggressive. It's been team-oriented. There's not been a lot of dribble, one-on-one attacks.
Fisher flips. Reinhardt. Rainbow make.
Man, that stroke looks good, doesn't it? I mean, if you're trying to teach somebody how to shoot, you want to take a video of Reinhardt's jumper.
He faced Providence in the tournament last year with USC as a grad transfer. Joined Marquette this year and had 2 late looks that fell short in the 1-point Providence win first time around. The double on. Lindsey sees an open Fryer. Extra give, wide open. Jackson misfires.
But once again, look at how that ball for Providence is zipping all around the court. Even though the shot was missed, it was a great shot. A shot that you love to have if you're a coach.
Rousey into the lane. The fall away. Off. Providence engineering this spurt with Cartwright on the bench. The pound by Malik White, who only plays 11 minutes a game.
Well, when you have a point guard like Cartwright, you don't want to take him out for long. So it's important that White makes the most out of his minutes and the most out of his opportunities by playing smart, unselfish, and making great passes like he did right there.
Right down the seam, Holt surrounded by gold jerseys, and Howard can just watch.
Wojo can't be happy right now. Coach Wojciechowski cannot be happy right now with the Marquette defense. Providence has gotten anything and everything they've wanted, and a lot of it has been right there in the paint.
A rare miss, just the second in 6 tries from deep by Marquette. Shot altered by Fisher. Rousey puts on the Jets.
This is when Marquette's dangerous, and they can get those threes in transition, where your defense is not set.
They just let it fly. If they see a window, a seam, they're going to pop it.
Well, when you have as many shooters as Marquette has, that you have to play to your strengths, so they might as well let it fly. I mean, that's the three-point line has really changed the game of not just college basketball, but basketball in general. You really space the court out, and it makes it hard to defend.
Subs ready for both teams. Defense at a premium early. Shots made by Wojo's bunch, up 2. Welcome back to Providence. Marquette by a deuce moments ago in huddle. Steve Wojciechowski held court.
We will score as long as the ball moves. Every time the ball is changed sides to the floor, we've gotten drives or we've gotten a wide open shot. The game is going to come down to the defensive end.
When we asked him, name your 2 or 3 top things you'll say to your team before they take the floor. Number 1, he said, you got to match the energy and toughness. Number 2, take care of transition. And when they get the ball down the floor, protect the paint. It appears that's where he still wants to see his team spark it up a bit.
Well, Coach Wojciechowski, when he played at Duke, was one of the best defenders that I've ever had a chance to play against in my career, especially on the perimeter. And he wants his team to play with that same energy and toughness that he once had as a player. And tonight, they're not doing that. Providence right now is shooting an eye-popping 73% from the field. That's not going to get it done.
And they've got 14 of their 16 points in the painted area, but as you see, wearing number 0, top of the screen, Marcus Howard with 2 fouls. They roll the dice and insert the outside shot maven back into the contest.
Well, Coach Wojciechowski right there is just showing confidence in one of his leaders, saying, hey, I know you have 2 fouls, but you can go out there and play smart for this team.
Jawan Johnson, not only the takeaway, but the shield and sink at the other end.
Oh, yeah, that's great footwork, great body control. Nice little Euro with the inside reverse with the right hand. I like it, young fella.
Kyron Cartwright is back. Rodney Bullock as well. He runs end line. Nice feed. The double head fake. Bank it home. Emmett Holt.
And once again, look at Coach Wojciechowski. Somebody definitely messed up their defensive assignment. We see a sub coming in the game because they are not taking care of the paint. And if you cannot win basketball games if you continuously give up shots in the paint, that is a quick death.
There's Howard, though, the weak side triple. He already has 8 points. But Steve Wojciechowski spoke about it after his team lost by a point to Providence. First ever loss for Marquette at home to the Friars. Last time they clashed, he said there were many defensive breakdowns late. What incredible perimeter movement.
This is an offensive clinic right now by this Providence ball club. When they're not getting it done inside, they're getting great shots on the perimeter. I've loved everything I've seen for this team on the offensive end.
The footing firmer for Marquette. Johnson,
great
no
pass.
look.
Great pass. Great pass and great finish by the big fella. Fisher making his presence felt inside with 2 nice rim-rattling dunks early in this game.
Had only 10 total points in the last 2 games combined. Victories over Xavier and St. John's.
That's because he's staying out of foul trouble. Staying out of foul trouble, believe it or not, is a skill. Some guys do it a lot better than others.
Cartwright serving more off ball. Open in the corner.
Oh! Hello.
Emmett Holt was known as a paint shot maker early in his collegiate career, but expanded that outside touch since his transfer.
Well, his shot looked great right there. Holt looked like he had a lot of confidence in that jumper.
Oh, the cut. Howard threw it behind as Cheatham dove basket.
But here's the scary thing for Providence. You're getting everything you want offensively. You're shooting 79% from the floor, and you're losing the basketball game. So you have to find a way to tighten up at the defensive end, but that has to be a little bit scary right now because offensively you're executing at a high level, but you're still not winning the ball game.
One more giveaway and more outside shot makes for Marquette. Cartwright deep!
Why not? So, hey, every once in a while you got to take a little bit of a heat check, right?
Thermometer read a little cooler than he intended. Howard floats it up. Diallo rips it down. Cartwright. Well, what a feed.
Excellent passing.
Diallo.
I love the unselfishness of this Providence team. A couple of guys could have possibly forced up some questionable shots on that little scrum right there, but everybody was trying to make the extra pass, take time, and execute in the right way.
3 on the shot clock. And a foul in pursuit of the free ball on Isaiah Jackson.
But Providence is okay with that. They're okay with Isaiah Jackson picking up those type of hustle fouls. He's only going to play about 17 to 18 minutes per game. They just wanted to make sure it's a hard 17 to 18 minutes because he has to be the guy that gives them that instant energy and that grit off the bench.
He's developed, becoming more of a multi-dimensional tool in the last 6 to 7 games. Johnson's been aggressive on those drives. Nice feed, Diallo, offensive travel.
Oh yeah, definitely. Diallo could have packed the bag on that one. He was definitely traveling.
It didn't look like any physical contact came as the wind swept Cheatham down to the floor.
Yeah, he was definitely. Cheatham was definitely getting ready for his flop game. He was anticipating the charge.
That's 5 giveaways for the Friars.
The interesting thing for Providence is that they've been playing so well offensively, and Bullock still doesn't have a bucket yet.
Johnson gives it away again. Friars with numbers. Cartwright, he doesn't need to look. Diallo hit. The crowd roars.
Cartwright just makes the right decision every time. Like, there's a calmness. He has a calming effect on a basketball club. In transition, he's fast, but he's not hurrying, and he's always making the right decision and hitting his teammates right where they need to be to put them in the best position to succeed.
Foul to Cheatham, his first. 4 fouls aside. Each team has its use it or lose it timeout. Diallo, a 74% shooter. Converts. Monday, 6 Eastern, host Adam Shine turns the enthusiasm up to 11 as he gives you his take on everything happening in sports on and off the field. On Time to Shine, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Now, Diallo and his teammates have had some woes shooting free throws late in games, particularly in the last month, plus something that reared its head some in the game against Marquette. Ed Cooley brought that up today.
Ed Cooley definitely brought that up today. He told us one of the biggest things would be the three-point line and the free throw line. You have to hit your free throws late in ball games if you want to seal a victory. They almost gave it away against Marquette last time with poor free throw shooting.
Rousey didn't have a plan, could not touch the ball. Friars up a point with a lot. while the Friars lead this matchup 26-25. When they met on January the 28th, Jalen Lindsey did it from deep. One of his 4 makes and 5 tries from outside. Ryan Fazekas shined with 11 points, including that triple. In the final 6 seconds, Caden Reinhardt shot blocked out of bounds and then defended again by Rodney Bullock, who used his length to bother him into the short miss. Providence held on, a 79-78 final. That was the first win for Providence in program history at Marquette. Brendan Haywood, Marquette has dominated the series, winning 14 of 18 since they joined the Big East as conference compatriots. But so many nip and tuck games, a 1-point game, first meeting last year, a double overtime follow-up to that, and we have another taut battle here today.
Yeah, Marquette has dominated the series, but like you said, it's been close. It's been very good games. Both teams have fought and been aggressive. So every time these two teams play, it's normally a battle. Last game was like that. This game is shaping up to be something similar.
Not one offensive rebound between the two teams. Providence has dominated in the paint, plus 10, 16-6, while Marquette is 5 of 8 from outside.
Well, Providence has only missed 5 shots. They were shooting they're shooting 70% from the field, so they haven't had a lot of offensive rebounds to go get.
It's been an offensive slugfest. Cartwright the cut, extra touch pass, and the foul whistle blares. And the hand immediately to the face for Emmett Holt.
Cartwright right here came off the rub screen well. Excellent touch pass. Holt in the right position, cut to the basket. Took a little bit of a hit to the face, but he'll be okay.
Foul to Matt Helt, his first. 5 fouls on Marquette, 4 on Providence. Holt, a 72% free throw shooter. Make sure to join the Coaches versus Cancer 3-point challenge. Join your team. Make a pledge. Beat cancer. Pledge now. 3pointchallenge.org. Emmett Holt, who began his collegiate career at Indiana, was not a great free throw shooter there at 54%. Has that clank off the iron. The pensive Ed Cooley, arms crossed, barks out commands.
Defensively, Providence still switching everything 1 through 4, trying to play aggressive on that 3-point line.
Especially when Marquette goes to a smaller lineup. They have a true 5 in there in Helt with 4 on the timer. Offline J for Dwayne Wilson.
Those are the type of shots that Marquette wants Providence to take. I mean, those type of shots that Providence want Marquette to take throughout the game. Just consistent, contested twos. Those are the shots they'll live with.
Holt hesitates, drives, misses. Bullock rips it down. He's been eerily silent. But he is a slow starter. That's been the norm for Bullock on the year.
Well, he's going to have to start getting it going. There's only about 6 minutes left in the half, and they're going to need him if they're going to win this game. Marquette's right there.
Matched up with Helt, showing off the left hand. Picks it up. Dangerous lob. Feathery touch with a finger out of bounds. Raised by Marquette, 7 on the timer. Howard returns while Providence inserts Ryan Fazekas for his first minutes.
Sometimes when you have a play like Bullock that's very talented, but sometimes isn't as aggressive as you want him to be, you have to force his aggressiveness. And that's by calling plays that go directly at him, put him in one-on-one situations, screen and rolls, make him play aggressively on the offensive end because the ball is in his hands. Jalen
Lindsey, rather crisp rhythm. Marquette, a long drought, no points in 4 minutes, and a whistle before Howard put that shot in the air. A foul on the floor.
Watching Howard play, it's just amazing to me that, to think this guy is 17 years old. The calmness that he plays with, the excellent stroke. Right there, the floater didn't count, but the drive left, the floater with the right floater going to the right side of his body. Just excellent basketball skill for a man that's so young.
And now he loads up and has his shot partially blocked by Bullock. Cartwright, the acrobatic save. Cartwright looks to Ed Cooley. 8-0 run.
A little short right there.
Marquette basketball. The crowd vehemently disagrees.
Great defense by Bullock. Excellent closeout. Cartwright with the save. Leads to the fast break. Didn't get any points, but the defense was excellent.
Reinhardt folding away. The rainbow make snaps the long, scoreless grab.
That's a tough shot to hit. Driving right. Most right-hand players want to get to their left-hand step back, but Reinhardt right there able to hit the floating jump shot going to his right hand.
Zizekas using the shoulder to create some space. Remember, Howard plays with 2 fouls. Bullock trying to post. They three-quarter it.
Howard was lucky he didn't pick up his third foul right there.
Tough shot for Bullock. One-handed rebound against the big body. Shot rejected.
Referee's letting him play. I thought Holt got fouled right there.
Rousey slams on the deck. And it is a travel. He tried to call timeout.
Definitely a travel. I love the hustle, love the effort, but it was definitely a travel by Rousey at that point.
And then Holt subs out. Khalif Young is back. Marquette with subs as well. As Helt will get a breather. And they return to the fray, the big fellow Luke Fisher in his stead. Fisher is an outstanding rim protector. And sometimes gets him in foul trouble. But he will swat shots. Cartwright, oh my goodness.
And the setup on that play was excellent. It was supposed to be an angle screen and roll. He saw they were going to trap on the sideline. Fake to the baseline, drove middle, was able to find Young with a nice finish inside. Well, he didn't actually get the finish, but got fouled.
Foul to Fisher. So Young, only a 34% free throw shooter, journeys to the line.
Hello. And he looked better than 34% right there.
Coming up, AT&T at the half. We'll send you back to our New York studios. Adam Zucker, Swin Cash, John Rothstein take you through all the latest news and highlights. It's coming your way on AT&T at the half. Gets the rebound. How does that happen?
And that drives the coach crazy. One of the first things you work on the first day of practice is free throw box outs and rebounding. Somebody didn't box out the shooter, and I'm sure Coach Wojciechowski will address that at halftime. You cannot allow those type of mental mistakes.
Second gasp for Providence, which owns the offensive glass thanks in part to its own outstanding shooting. Lindsay off, and another foul. Fisher, who had the inside step, but fouled Khalif Young.
And we saw Wojo in the timeout talking about heart, toughness, and doing things in the paint. Well, right now, Providence is doing those things. Providence is getting the extra rebounds. They're playing more physical at the front of the rim. And if Marquette wants to win this ball game, they're going to have to change their mentality. Their mentality is going to have to meet Providence's mentality as far as being physical and aggressive and using their body to be strong.
These are the first of the 1-and-1. 7 fouls out of Marquette, and the 34% shooter hits it.
Who said he's 34%? He's looking like at least 54% to me.
Is there any chance he could get the ball on a miss?
Nearly did. If he would have got that rebound right there, I'm not sure what Coach Wojciechowski would have done.
Telegraph pass, pocket pick. Lindsay to Bullock. He has helped out his heels.
Hello.
Furious jam.
The crowd excited about that dunk. It's electric in here right now.
Largest lead of the game for the Friars. And Howard bumped the whistle with 8 on the timer. Everyone had popped up to their feet.
Everyone was up for good reason. That's because Rodney Bullock was rim rocking in transition. Send it in, fly through there, young fella. Pros, they're very talented. It wouldn't shock me if Duke made a late run this season.
The run has been for Providence here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. A 12-2 spurt to grab this game-high 6-point advantage. Reinhardt doubled upon entry. Cartwright stuffs it. The wing three. Howard playing with 2 fouls. A 17-year-old freshman.
He could just flat out shoot the ball. Like we're talking about, he got 54% shooting the ball this year from the three-point line. That is eye-popping and sizzling.
He's got 11 points. Providence coughs it up. Marquette with numbers.
He's pulling up this. He look like he's about to pull up right there.
Instead feeds the trailing Reinhardt off. Cartwright floats it up. Not much of a plan.
Yeah, that was one of the rare mistakes you'll see Cartwright make.
Howard. 13 points.
This Marquette team is just so sound fundamentally because everybody can drive, shoot, and kick, and they always have 4 people that can do it. It puts so much stress on your defense.
Howard picked up that second foul just 3 minutes into the game. Spent time on the pine and has scissored since.
That's a foul. White got destroyed right there. It was a clear foul on his wrist. I could hear it from here. The baseline referee was asleep. He has to see that and make that call. These flex cuts, but he was wide open though. These flex cuts and back cuts for Providence on the offensive end have been giving Marquette problems. They got to find a way to remedy that if they're going to find a way to win this close basketball game.
That's the second foul on Khalif Young. That's 7 on the Friars, so now both teams have bonus down the stretch of the stanza. And you can see Ed Cooley barking about that baseline drive. That seam has been there so much.
Well, Ed Cooley is barking about the foul that didn't get called on White, and then the ticky-tack foul on Young on this end. The biggest thing about officiating, if you're a coach or players, you want it to be consistent. That is clearly a foul. So if you're going to let it be physical one way, you need to be physical the other way. Or if you're going to call it close to the vest, it needs to be that way for both teams. But when you have that type of play in succession where it's an obvious foul not called and a ticky-tack foul called on the other end, of course the coach is going to be a little upset.
And you put Rousey at the line, who's as automatic as they come. Second in America, 93%. He's only missed 5 times in 76 attempts on the season.
Oh, wow.
And those were Marquette's first free throws of the day.
And a lot of that's been because the Providence defense has been very good. They've been aggressive, but at the same time, they haven't given up a lot of opportunities where they've had to foul.
Bullock muscling.
Speaking of aggressive, that's where they need to get aggressive right there. That's Bullock. That's a nice aggressive move. He didn't waste any time. Got right to the middle of the lane, then was able to spin and use the left hand. Great spin move off the glass.
He leads them in scoring, rebounding, and steals on the year. Trying to hedge some with Rousey. Pinball. Oh, another telegraph pass. Lindsay once more.
Great defense. Providence is really flying around.
8 giveaways for Marquette. And then down the grain of the lane, the whistle cuts through. So Reinhardt, he has 1, the team with 8. And it'll be Cartwright at the line. Cartwright nearly had a triple-double January the 16th at Georgetown. Finished a rebound short, 16 points, 11 dimes, 9 boards. But Ed Cooley told us that he's at his best when he's going full throttle. He needs to use that blazing speed and create.
Oh, yeah. When he gets in transition, he's going north and south. He's a handful because he has the speed. On top of that, he has the great court vision along with the handle. So when you see Cartwright in transition, it's a defensive nightmare if you're rocking back on your heels.
Bullock smothering Rousey. The reversal to Reinhardt. Got open. The screen by Help frees him to make the 2.
Great pull-up by Reinhardt, but once again, those are shots that Providence will live with. Contested 2s are the type of shots you want to beat you.
That little hesitation by Cartwright, some gamesmanship there.
Well, he saw the Providence defender getting ready to jump into the passing lane, and he was very smart, took his time.
What a high-low. Bullock on a brief switch had Reinhardt. Now there's a little bit of infighting and barking between some of the Marquette players defensively.
Well, defensively, Marquette has been off all half. So some guys are probably not in the right position and not giving help the way they're supposed to, and their teammates are trying to hold them accountable.
10-second differential. What's the look here?
It's definitely going to probably be a screen and roll. You want to maybe get a pull-up jumper or a drive and kick.
Deep look. Rousey hit. Clean. And a whistle. Timeout call. 15.9 seconds. The likely final possession of the stanza on the other. Providence the lead, the ball out of its own timeout. Let's take a look at how defense won the last possession.
This is great defense, just what Coach Cooley talked about in shoot around. pressing the shooters. Bullock hasn't been a dynamic scorer, but offensively he has been great this half. Right there challenging the shooter, getting the block from the weak side.
Ed Cooley said, we may not be tall, but we have length and we can bother shooters.
They definitely have length. When you have Bullock, guys like Bullock, Holt, those guys have extremely long wingspans. They might not be 7 feet tall, but they play way taller than they are.
Different defensive look for Marquette. The miss, Rousey from midcourt. Off the backboard. Well, we are through one stanza, and Providence victors by a point the first time these teams met, up a point at halftime here today. Stay tuned for AT&T at the half. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network. Providence by a hair over Marquette, two teams that need this game. They are both right on the edge of the bubble. John Sadak, Brendan Haywood here for our CBS Sports Network telecast. We just got word from our officials, the slickness of the floor, the moisture that is erupting up, still a concern. If it rears its head, if a player takes a stumble, they will not call a travel. They will blare a whistle, call the play dead, and inbound.
Yeah, that's what the official just said to us. He said they'll give the ball to whatever team that is. They won't call the travel. But that's very dangerous, too. I'm really worried, and I'm concerned about player safety.
So that slippage not there for Kyron Cartwright, who was dealing dimes throughout the first.
Yeah, he had a quick 4 dimes. He got it started early. Right here in transition, and he was good doing that. Getting to his one-on-one moves with a quick hesitation, finding Young inside. Cartwright was really making his team go offensively with his unselfish play. But on the other end, we're having a point guard battle. Marcus Howard, he was getting it done with his 3-point shot. Behind the arc, he was letting it go. He had a quick 13 points early in this first half. He looked good, found some early foul trouble. He stumbled in some early foul trouble, but he did not let that hold him down. Look for both of these point guards to thrive in the second half.
The first half stats brought to you by TGI Fridays. Points in the paint, owned by the Friars, but Marquette doing it from deep.
Yeah, Marquette's doing it from the 3-point line. Providence is doing it inside. We'll see which team wins. Will it be the battle of the team that can get it done in the paint, or the battle of the team that's hitting from the 3-point line?
Each of these squads went 12 of 24 from outside last time out. And Marquette, which changed defenses on that final possession before halftime, shows a wrinkle here.
Marquette comes out in a little bit of a zone, trying to throw Providence off and maybe protect that paint a little bit.
Forces a bad look by Diallo. One and done as Dwayne Wilson gets the board.
And that's why you switch to a zone, because you're getting pummeled in the paint. Let's see if we can make this team take some shots from outside and figure out if we can give them a different look that can throw them off.
Howard, bit of a prayer. Bullock right on the spot.
And if you're Cartwright, the best way to beat the zone is to push the ball down the court quickly and get it into transition before the zone can set up.
See the number there, the Friars 10-0 at home when leading at halftime. They went 9-0 at home total in non-conference, but 4-3 in Big East play. Out of bounds. Howard with the touch, 9 to shoot here. Bullock can't come free. Cartwright right to the cup, put it home, and Bullock.
And one great drive. Was able to knife right down the lane, use his electric speed and quickness, and he was strong enough to get the finish as well. You just love the fact that right there, he didn't waste any time. As soon as he caught the ball, it was a quick decision, go right down the lane. He knew he had the advantage, and he capitalized on it.
Rousey's first. He's grimacing, wincing as he takes a seat on the bench. Reinhardt takes his spot.
Yeah, it looked like Rousey took a shoulder right there to like the rib area. And sometimes that can be a rib or chest. Sometimes that can just be a shortness of breath, get the wind knocked out of you. I'm hoping that's what it is in this situation.
So he gets examined by the athletic training staff.
And those shoulders and shots to the rib and the sternum area, boy, those can really hurt, man. I'll tell you what.
As he grimaces, Cartwright misses the and one. Rousey, an outstanding shooter, has come to his feet. You can see him softly walking as he goes up the bench. Howard
can't leave that guy open. I don't understand how Howard got that open. With the first half that he had and with what Ed Cooley said he wanted to have done from a defensive standpoint done to Howard today, I don't understand how he was able to be that open in the corner right there. Definitely a defensive mismatch.
Holt with a strong drop step. Helt got a little too aggressive. So that Helt has his second. Now free throws for the Friars. Ed Cooley told us that one of his team's goals in this game, 20 makes at the free throw line.
Yeah, you got to realize if you get 20 makes at the free throw line, that speaks to your aggressiveness. That means you are pushing the tempo, you are aggressive. So he wants those makes, and he also talked to us about being aggressive at the front of the rim. If you get 20 free throws, that means you're in attack mode. And that's what Ed Cooley wants. He wants the team to be in attack mode 24/7.
They're just 5 of 11 at the line. They've had about the volume of opportunities he would want, just not the makes. There are more misses.
Yeah, when you get to the free throw line, one of the biggest things you got to do is you got to be able to knock them in. Just getting there sometimes isn't enough.
Oh, crossover by Howard. Baffled Diallo. No call. Off the knee, out of bounds. Bit of a flail there.
Well, I think it looked like it was good defense by Diallo. The crossover was nice, but he stayed there, stayed upright. Oh, no, actually the defense was by Bullock on the weak side. Bullock has had his hands on a lot of balls. Like, offensively, he hasn't really stepped up yet, but defensively, he's been very engaged. He's had a lot of tips and strips on the defensive end.
The long skip, the quick release. And Marquette's got it.
Team's coming out a little bit cooler this half.
Oh, pretty move, though, Dwayne Wilson.
Wilson took his time right there, just knifed straight through the defense.
Cartwright putting on that extra gear, whips it out to Bullock.
And it's Bullock's time now. It's the second half. His team needs him. He's gonna have to really step this game up. But this floor is giving a lot of these guys problems. Like, we could be in danger of getting this game called.
And we had an official screaming white ball, saying Providence in the white jersey, Friars ball, because it was the floor. That's the exact issue they told us about just before the second half began. The moisture was still a problem. If it occurred in a situation like that, no travel would be called. Now at issue, what do you have on the clock? 14 shows on the shot clock currently.
Well, the question is, how many slips or falls have to occur before we say, hey, this is a hazard to the player? So it's going to be something that we're going to really have to watch, because these officials really might have to call this basketball game if the floor condensation doesn't let up at some point.
Cartwright, no look to Holt. What a wraparound. Through the double, no. The tall trees deny, out of bounds. Marquette basketball.
Great defensive play inside. And that's what we're talking about, keeping your hands up. If you're big, sometimes you have to keep your hands up. Don't come down for the block. A lot of bigs sometimes bring their hand. They play small. They bring their hands down, and that's how they get in foul trouble right there. Great defense by the Marquette bigs inside. Wow. Like, did you see Marcus Howard slipping right there, just trying to get his footing right for that crossover dribble? It's like this floor is starting to scare me. It really is.
And there was a stumble underneath by Holt. Yeah, you could see the jagged jab steps, just trying to gain footing.
Howard was coming off the screen, and he was trying to get into his one-on-one playmaking mode, and you could just see his feet were starting to give out underneath him. And this is a very dangerous situation.
It almost changes the way you want to play, right? If you're a guy who wants to cut a lot, you might be more hesitant.
Yeah, it definitely changes. It makes you think about your cut sometimes. And that's what, as a player, you want to be able to just move freely without thinking. You want to just be natural. And there's another slip.
Lindsay went down. Howard irate, but he's being informed immediately. Hey, this is what we agreed to. We told both coaches about this.
Keep your eye right here on Lindsay. Like that's dangerous. Like, did you see the way the inside part of his knee, like any type of move like that could end up in like a serious type of knee injury. For an old guy like myself, if I fall like that, you're gonna have to come out there and help me up.
Lindsay uncorks it.
And for Lindsay, doesn't matter. He can slip, fall, get twisted up. He's young and full of energy. He pops up and hits a three. For me, that's going to be a week in bed. Great defense there by Providence.
It does have a slip and slide nature, though, as the second half continues.
Wow.
Cartwright, explosive.
Speaking of slipping and sliding, Cartwright was slipping and sliding down the lane. Quick hesitation, changed up his dribble pattern and slid right into the lane for the easy, smooth layup.
He's got 11. Marquette calls timeout. Or does it?
I don't think they call timeout, but they might need a timeout to talk about how they're going to keep Cartwright out of the lane.
They pointed to the bench area. Apparently there was issue.
Just that little hesitation was all Cartwright needed to rock Reinhardt back on his heels, and he was able to get down the lane where there was no help.
The late sub allowed for Providence, maximizing real-time rest. Next dead ball means immediate.
I like Providence, how they picked up the pressure. Defensively, they're really trying to get into the dribbler, force Marquette's offense a little bit farther out from the perimeter, make them uncomfortable. And look at Diallo right there. He is really getting into his man. White as well.
Howard.
Wow.
Deep three. A consensus top 100 recruit in the country.
Great defense, better offense. Howard, once he sees a crack, all he sees is the net, and it's normally going through.
He was originally set to go to Arizona State. That's when Stan Johnson was on the staff there. And Fisher combining with Howard to pummel Evan Holt. Stan Johnson now in his second campaign with Marquette. When he made the move, shortly thereafter Howard did as well, and he's getting it done from outside. Back and forth in this bubble battle in the Big East. Marquette up 2. The March to March presented by California Almonds continues tonight. Back-to-back Mountain West showdowns. Up next, Silver State Pride on the line. Nevada invades UNLV, followed by Steve Fisher, San Diego State Aztecs. They seek to play spoiler as Colorado State continues a drive toward a conference crown at 8 Eastern, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. It's been slick conditions here today.
Yeah, it's been definitely a little bit slippery out there on the court. It's been like that since this morning shoot around. A lot of the players have been losing their footing, slipping. Kind of dangerous, has me a little bit worried, but the referees are continuing to let it play, and hopefully no one suffers any type of injuries because of this floor.
Holt at the line, misses.
He's missed his last 3. Right now it's in his head, his mental. As a guy that's Holt's not a great free throw shooter, so when he misses a couple in a row, then it becomes a mental thing and he starts overthinking the shooting process.
It's 1 of 5 at the stripe in this game. 1 of 6, but Providence has the ball.
Another free throw rebound given up by Marquette. Like, Wojo has to be beside himself. Like I said, those are the type of things that you cannot let happen. Sometimes there's going to be balls that don't bounce your way, but a free throw rebound, that can always be worked on.
The foul, by the way, that brought about the media. Fisher's 3rd. He remains in the game. 3-ball missed by Lindsey. Fisher wins it. Providence is now 5 of 14 at the free throw line in the game.
Ooh, 5 of 14. Like 5 of 14, that'll get you beat in a close game. Like you said, if you're 5 of 14 from the free throw line, that's the difference in the game. That's keeping Marquette with this lead. That and the three-point shooting, guys like Reinhardt and Marcus Howard have been really stroking it from deep.
Marquette averages over 10 makes a game. That's tops in the Big East. That's 9 makes already. We'll step aside. The latest triple pushes Marquette's lead to 5.
From the field, 5 of 6 from the three-point line. He's been sensational.
And Kyron Cartwright, he had 4 of those 5 times in the first, now showing he can score 2.
Cartwright does it in a little bit different fashion. He gets down the lane. He has the speed and the quickness. He can be a scorer when he needs to, but he can also be a playmaker.
His head coach, Ed Cooley, said he brought him in the office a couple of weeks ago and challenged him to realize how good he is. He said, I believe in you. I believe you're better than you think you are, particularly in how you finish. You're a distributor, that's great, but we need you to score more too.
Well, as a player, when you hear that type of thing and you get that type of green light from your coach, it gives you confidence. It lets you know your coach believes in you, and a lot of times that confidence shows out on the basketball court a lot because now you play with a little bit more of an edge.
This is out of a Providence timeout. Marquette again showing that zone.
Yeah, last time they only gave a zone for 1 possession. It'll be very interesting to see if Marquette will stick with the zone a little bit more this time. Got to stop them in the zone last time, and they went away from it.
Cartwright. Tap off Out of bounds, Marquette ball. These are two teams on the bubble. Steve Wojciechowski knows the razor's edge that his team is on. Jerry Palm in his latest bracketology had both of these teams in as 11 seeds. Had Marquette, though, playing in the first 4.
Yeah, well, Marquette, the one advantage they have is that they're over Providence. They're over 500 in conference, and they have that big win over Villanova. And the selection committee will definitely be looking at that. That's a feather in their cap, but they can always say, hey, we beat the team that at the time was #1 in the nation.
Now a 15-5 run for a game-high 7-point lead at Providence.
Providence has been kind of ice cold from the three-point line as well. The free throw line and the three-point line are giving Providence problems today. 3 of 12 from behind the arc, 5 of 14 from the free throw line. So they're going to have to find a way to be more efficient from both if they're going to pull this game out.
Whistle and foul. Cartwright was knocked down. Marcus Howard's third.
He just seems like he gets anywhere he wants to at any time he wants to.
It also feels like it's beyond the physical, like many of the great players, in particular the distributors. Mentally, he at times is even a step ahead of his teammates that play with him all the time.
Oh, yeah, when you're a guy that has that type of court vision and that type of elite speed, sometimes you're making a play and your teammate isn't anticipating what you are. You'll get a turnover because he's not in the spot that he should be in. You know where he should be, but he's not getting there as quickly and processing the information like you are.
Rousey, nice little shovel to cheat him to put it home.
Bullock getting ready to check back in the game, and this time he's going to have to wake up when he checks back in the game too. 6 points, 3 of 8. They're going to need Bullock to step up and play like the team's leading scorer that he is.
Isaiah Jackson. Providence not getting nearly the ball movement that it had earlier in the game.
Yeah, early in the game they were getting a lot of action off their flex cuts, their back screens. They were able to get guys in the paint all first half. Coach Wojciechowski. Oh wow, this is seriously dangerous. I don't think you understand how dangerous that slip is. Like, you see Holt grabbing his groin, his whole leg like shifted on that slip. Like like just watch this highlight right here. Look at that slip. Like, those are the type of things that end up in groin injuries, knee injuries. And at some point, I know we want to finish this game, but we have to think about the player safety and is it worth it?
Now, something our officials told us at that last media timeout, they came over to again reinforce. Both coaches agreed to this, that they would continue to play in these conditions.
Why?
And that if there was a slip, it would not be a travel, instead entry, maintaining possession.
I know that I know making the tournament's important. And I know that seeding is on the line for both these teams today. But you know what? So is player health, player safety. And I've seen 3 or 4 slips that could have easily resulted in major injuries.
Hard contact near the rim, jump ball. Emmett Holt rising to the occasion against Juwan Johnson. And a timeout on the floor. Marquette getting some breathing room. Life on the bubble can be rough. Golden Eagles on top. 10 unanswered. Marquette enjoys the largest lead of the game. Moments ago, Ed Cooley talked to his team.
We have to dig in right here, guys. Got to play with a sense of purpose and urgency right here. All right? We're giving the ball away. We're missing free. We got to be able to do a better job. Do a much better job. All right? We got to drive the ball, penetrate and pitch. Penetrate and pitch off this. A lot of games.
Wide discrepancy second half, Brendan Haywood in shooting. Marquette is 7 for its last 7 from the field. Perfect on the stanza from deep and 3 tries, while Providence 3 of 9, 1 of 4 from outside.
Yeah, 3 of 9. The 1 of 4 from outside was really going to hurt you. The three-point line, 1 of 4 is killing Providence right now to go along with the poor free throw shooting. That's what's really got them in this hole. They're going to have to find a way to turn both of those around, and along with Rodney Bullock's going to have to step up and be a little bit more assertive in this second half.
This Marquette team could shoot with the best of them. Playground move by Rousey, but Lindsay takes advantage.
Look at Coach Wojciechowski. As soon as that play happened, he grabbed Howard and put him right back in the game. You can't make those type of circus plays in a ball game of this magnitude, and then it leads to a bucket on the other end.
Lindsay ripping the twine. He's in double figures. Reinhardt stepping back. Off the heel.
That was a forced shot by Reinhardt.
Here's Bullock, and he's fouled.
Like if you're going to make those plays, if you're going to try those plays, you have to capitalize. And expect when you turn it over and then it leads to a three-point shot the other way, that's what keeps coaches up at night. That drives coaches crazy. That's how I'm surprised Coach Wojo has such a great head of hair. That was like those type of plays make you rip your hair out if you're a coach, man. Those type of things that really just drive you crazy all the time.
Bullock below his average of 16 and a half a game to lead the team, but he's been a late bloomer, often emerging in the second. Marcus Howard with 3 fouls returns. Rousey takes a quick seat. By the way, foul-wise, it's now 5 on Marquette as a team already this half, 0 on Providence.
That's big. And it's big for 2 reasons. First of all, it means Providence to get to the free throw line a lot quicker and be able to steal points. But at the same time, if Providence isn't hitting the free throws, it could actually be a hindrance. So we'll see which way it'll go.
Fisher screens. Receives.
Got to have a hand up.
Banks it home.
Got to have it. That was a poor defensive rotation by Holt right there. On the screen and roll, he was way too far back. Marcus Howard shooting 54% from 3, but he's absolutely sizzling today. You have to be up on that screen and roll coverage right there, force him to do something different besides shoot the ball.
Cartwright flicks it corner out of bounds. Howard, by the way, 6 of 7 from outside. He's got 22 points.
Watch when Howard comes off the screen. Watch where Holt is. Holt is in the paint. Howard is the best three-point shooter in the country, in the nation. You cannot be in the paint when he comes off the screen and roll type of situation. You have to meet him as soon as he comes off the screen and force him to pass the ball or drive inside the three-point line.
Oh, the tip right near the cup.
In transition, this kid is dangerous. This kid is dangerous.
And that's 4 fouls on Luke Fisher.
Well, staying true to form. And that's one of those things, as he matures, he'll learn how to play with fouls. But in that situation, you have to let him go. And you have to challenge. We get the challenge in a smart fashion. Don't foul. Understand your situation. You have 3. And if you pick up 4, you're out of the game and you hurt your ball club.
Fisher fouled out after 12 and 11 minutes in each of the last couple of games. That's 4 here today.
Oh, wow.
Free throw miss again. Elsewhere in the Big East, Villanova from a halftime deadlock came back and bested Creighton. So Villanova has a record 4th straight outright regular season title in the Big East. Seton Hall got a victory at DePaul.
And surprisingly, Cartwright 0 for 3, finally getting one to fall. But he started his game out 0 for 3 from the free throw line. So the free throw troubles for Providence have really put them in a bind right now.
They shoot 70% from the line on the year.
And that's not good. And it looks like Providence trying to go to a little bit of a zone right here. And against a team like Marquette that shoots the 3 that well, that can lead to a lot of open opportunities.
End line drive. Providence thought out of bounds, but foul instead. Emmett Holt has his first. That's the first on Ed Cooley's club this half. There have been 6 already out of Marquette. Providence has bonus the rest of the way. Here's a look at the discrepancy in team fouls.
Providence has been very aggressive in trying to go to the basket, especially Cartwright. That's led to some of the fouling. But the problem is, even though they've got to the foul line, they haven't been able to capitalize, shooting under 50% from the free throw line right now as a team. Providence sticking with the zone, trying to give Marquette a different look, slow them down a little bit. Just sometimes you want to just throw a team off their rhythm.
Johnson off target.
Great
Whips it around.
Great hustle. Great hustle. Those are game-winning type of plays. This zone, I'll tell you one thing, this zone better find where Marcus Howard is. He is hunting that shot, too.
He gets hit and fouled. That'll be Diallo's second. The rhythm, the crispness for both teams, really, I think eroded a lot as the floor issues first emerged.
Yeah, the floor issues definitely changed the flow of the game a little bit. But this is a little bit of a danger time for Providence because they're down 7 points right now. But if Marquette goes on a quick run, they can be down double figures really quickly, and time is starting to run out on them.
Hauser's new to the field. He's a great outside shooter. 3 of the top 7 in the league play for Marquette, the second best outside shooting team in America. Hauser, a little closer miss.
Yeah. He barely hit rim on that one.
Cartwright a little out of control. Hit, and that's Howard. They'll get Howard for his 4th foul, so Howard and Fisher each with 4 for Marquette.
Yeah, Howard's going to have to sit down. I know Coach Woodhouse, he doesn't want to take him out of the game, but you have a 7-point lead. He's playing great. You have to get him out of the ball game. You cannot afford to have him foul out this early.
The Big East freshman of the week, who's unconscious from outside, gives way to Rousey. Now, Rousey's a great shooter, but nobody's like Howard in all the land. And Rousey is not quite the same on the handle. It feels like Howard has given them a calmness.
Yeah, well, Howard, even though he shoots the ball, he doesn't possess this type of blazing speed that Cartwright does. He's crafty. He knows how to play angles, get to his spots, play in space, and those are the type of things that help him get his jumper off as well, and it helps his ball club. Rousey's going to have to give them a nice, good 4 to 5 minutes. He doesn't have to be a superstar. He just can't turn the ball over, and he has to make sure they get into their sets and get good offensive looks.
Friars now 9 of 20 at the free throw line.
Whoa, look. Once again, that floor. And I'm telling you, every time I see somebody slip, I'm scared. Because sometimes these guys are slipping and they're not even making aggressive moves. They're just trying to simply get their footing, and they can't because the floor is that slick.
And we saw the AD,
like this,
Robert Driscoll, out talking with the game operations staff multiple times.
This isn't an aggressive move. Like if you can slip making a minor move like that, what happens if you're going through an aggressive jab step and that same foot slips out right there? That's where you're in danger, and that's when you start to worry about player safety a lot.
Single digits on the timer. Reinhardt finds Jawan Johnson, and he's fouled.
Great pass by Reinhardt.
That'll be Emmett Holt's second. Fouls piling up some on the Friars.
And Coach Cooley talked earlier in shoot around also about Reinhardt's great passing ability. Everybody talks about his shooting, but the passing is one of the most underrated parts of his game that a lot of people really appreciate.
Marquette, an outstanding free throw shooting team. Johnson among them. He's 6th in the league at 82%. Howard buried on the bench with 4 fouls. Second only to Villanova in free throw shooting. There's a miss. Providence ball.
Looks like Marquette's moving back into that zone. Really trying to confuse Providence. They're going in and out, man to zone, trying to catch these guys sometimes in the wrong offense.
Bullock, foul.
Great pass by Holt. That's a great high-low action. Holt took his time, found Bullock cutting along the baseline. That's just really just taking your time, executing your zone offense. Holt found the gap in the zone, waited. Bullock slipped right behind the defense and was able to get a free throw opportunity.
We're taking a look at our clock to confirm if the right time is showing. They're waving the players off the free throw line.
We're having all sorts of problems there. The clock's not working. The floor is slick.
What's shocking here, though, Brendan, in many ways, while this long doldrum has emerged for Providence offensively and Marquette's been switching defenses, Howard now tethered to the bench, but the lead is still sat in the single-digit range.
Yeah, well, the thing is Marquette has still played the same no matter what. Even though certain guys have been out, certain guys have had foul trouble, Marquette has still been patient and poised. And when you play with patience and poise, a lot of times good things that happen to you. They've been able to find good shots from the three-point line. They've knocked down their free throw opportunities when they've had the chance also.
There is a timing error. We take a look at the replay and watch the clock. Time was eroding while Marquette was shooting free throws.
Oh, wow. You definitely have to correct that because every second counts.
That's got to be a good. It looked to be about eyeball 10 seconds there. It was around 8:40 as it looked like it was first whittling down while he spun the ball in his hands.
The officials we have a great officiating crew. They'll definitely get it done. I was glad they were on top of that because 10 seconds can mean the world in a tight basketball game.
Just as Providence, which has had so many games come down to the late stage, a 2.2-second left jumper gave them the win Wednesday against Creighton. Marquette had 2 looks in the last 15 seconds, but both fell short to lose to Providence when these teams met in January. So let's see what move they make. It looks like it's 11 seconds off. So I assume this will move to 8:16 at some point.
I think you're right. That's the good simple math.
That's not quite what they're looking for.
Not 82.06. Slightly off.
They did go to double overtime when they met last year. You feel for the game operations staffs, too, that has to be right on top of it at the table every time that the floor wetness issues have emerged and making sure that the clock is stopped. It's a little bit of double and triple duty for many here today, and Providence wants to send a late sub to the table. 8:16 now shows. So it'll be 2 shots for Rodney Bullock, 75% shooter. He averages 16.5 per game. That's tops on the club. He only has 3 field goal makes, 8 points so far today. Make it 9.
Well, one thing what Coach Cooley said is that the thing about Rodney Bullock is no matter if he starts fast or slow, he'll find a way to get close to his average because he's dynamic and he does a lot of different things. And right, he hasn't had the best game in the world, but he's at 9 points. If he hits his free throw to be 10, well, I guess he'll stay at 9. And he's right there. He'll be close to his average this season.
And a foul on the loose ball thereafter. They'll go on Diallo. So he's got 3. It's 8 fouls on Marquette. Make it 4 now on Providence. Remember, Marcus Howard is on the Marquette bench with 4 fouls. Luke Fisher is on the Marquette bench with 4 fouls. And there's Ed Cooley talking things over with his newer consigliere, Jeff Battle, longtime associate head coach at Wake Forest.
I'm not sure if that was a slip. I think that was actually a foul by Diallo. Looked like he tripped Reinhardt on the way out, and what could have possibly been either a turnover. No, it was a Diallo tripped over his own player. Not Diallo, I mean Reinhardt tripped over help. But the floor is so slippery that the officials can't determine sometimes a trip or a slip, so they have to stay consistent in how they're calling the game. So they're going to give the ball to Marquette. Have you ever seen a game like this where there's been so many slips? And
once I did a Division I women's game where they used the wrong cleaning solution on half of the floor the night before the game. Yes.
Wow.
And they wound up delaying the game by about 8 hours.
8 hours?
Because it took that long to by hand re-wax and completely clean that half of the floor.
Man. And I've actually never seen anything like this. A floor this slick.
And I've seen condensation when it's been a dual hockey basketball facility, but not that lingered for this long or had this much impact.
Yeah, I've never seen like this many slips and falls in a basketball game. I've seen sometimes the floor is a little bit slick because of the hockey or because of the ice underneath it, but I haven't seen it just happen for a full entire game.
Nice no
look.
Great
pass by Reinhardt. Great pass. A little bit of a mix-up in the communication. Providence was icing the screen and roll, which basically they were forcing the screen down to the baseline. The big left way too early. Reinhardt saw the gap, drove to the basket, was able to make the nice assist for 3.
Cartwright pirouetting, misfiring. It was grazed by Marquette. Providence can touch. Out of bounds. Marquette ball. The hustle by Reinhardt.
That's a great play by Reinhardt. Never gave up on the play. Kept hustling, fighting. You want to know who wants it more? These type of plays, these type of possessions tell you who wants the game more. You're watching
Marquette, a game-high 10-point advantage, 62-52, as we revisit our AT&T Fast Analysis, the outside shot.
Marquette's outside shot is their calling card. They've been calling all game long, getting it down from deep, half court, pick and rolls, transition. Marcus Howard and Reinhardt have been absolutely on fire. Marquette as a ball club is shooting 11 for 18 from 3. Providence has to find a way to remedy this, get this number down, maybe get Providence under 50% from 3 for the half. But if they don't do something, they're going to take a loss tonight on their home floor.
Marcus Howard on the bench. He's the best outside shooter in America. Only Weber State hits threes at a greater clip than Marquette, which last time out broke the program's all-time record for made threes in a season. This is the best outside shooting team that Marquette's ever had.
But in the second half, it doesn't matter if it's been the three-point line or a step inside the three-point line. Marquette's been absolutely on fire. They're shooting 67% on all their field goals in the second half.
Providence down a game-worst dozen. Near turnover, a slip and slide near midcourt. And it's Providence basketball.
Marquette right now has turned up their defensive intensity. They've turned up their aggression. They're the more aggressive team. Both of these coaches talked about aggression and how they want their team to play with that type of fight and grit. Marquette right now has the most grit. That's why they have this double-digit lead.
Kyron Cartwright.
Great pass. Oh, travel.
Had the passing lane sealed off and lifted that pivot just a bit. 11 giveaways on each side.
I think Coach Cooley's going to try to change the tempo of this game, come with a little bit of a trap right here, a little bit of a full court press. He feels this game slipping away. He knows he has to do a little something to get his team rev back up.
Hard screen.
Slipping away, no pun intended, right?
Oh, and the foul on Diallo, and then Cooley's fired up.
I don't think that was a foul on Diallo. I thought he was just simply fighting through the screen.
Our official made a hand or arm signal of an elbow.
That's nothing. That's a play on. That's a guy fighting through a screen, gets blindsided a little bit. I guess the official's probably reacting to the arm going up a little bit, but I think that's a play on.
So he's on the bench with 4. It's 5 fouls on the Friars, 8 on Marquette.
That's an illegal screen. That's an illegal screen, definitely. But once again, it all starts with the defense. Bullock being aggressive, forced the screener to step out one more step, and the trip right here is the illegal part of the screen. But it all started with the aggressiveness from the Providence defense. They're going to need more of that. They're going to have to turn the pressure up and turn the heat up on Marquette if they're going to get back into this basketball game. There's only 6 minutes left. The clock is not their friend.
It's 4 fouls on Helt. So Helt, Fisher, and Howard all with 4 fouls. Fisher is in for Helt.
What's the over/under on minutes that Fisher played before he picks up his 5th foul?
That's an interesting quandary.
I think he'll get at least 2 minutes for sure. Oh wow! Every time somebody goes down, my heart just jumps because
And it does feel like Emmett Holt has been the victim of it more than most today.
It's just unfortunate that a game of this magnitude that means so much to both teams has to be played under these type of conditions.
And tremendous credit to this Marquette team coming on the road, playing in an environment like this. Golden Eagles have been outstanding.
And Marquette has shown me something today. Their ability to make shots will keep them in almost any ball game against anybody because they can get it down from deep.
And defensively, they've been shutting down the Friars in the second. Isaiah Jackson gets the J.
Now it's time to step up the defense a little bit. Maybe create a turnover, force a long shot where you get a rebound and get out in transition. But Providence has to get things going in their favor very quickly.
Hauser hit. So that's foul number 1 on Bullock. But now it's bonus rest of the way for Marquette with 6 fouls on the Friars.
And that's advantage Marquette because they're such a good free throw shooting team that every time they go to the free throw line, it's almost like you're giving points away. They have so many good free throw shooters. That's very important in close games.
Crowd thought there was a slip. Friars on the run. Baseline drive, and there's the foul. I don't think that was 2 minutes.
He didn't get 2 minutes. He didn't get 2 minutes.
Well, Luke Fisher is fouled out, so help already stands, anticipating the coaching staff will call his number. Steve Wojciechowski welcomes his club back and uses this as a de facto timeout. Fisher has become a smaller and smaller part of Marquette's equation due to the foul trouble recently, while Helt has emerged, averaging just 2.5 points and rebounds per game. Helt on Tuesday against St. John's at 15 and 10, his first career double-double as he's eaten up some of the minutes from Fisher.
Well, Fisher's giving minutes away to Helt, and Helt's taking advantage of the opportunity. But Fisher has to find a way to play a little bit smarter and stay out of this constant foul trouble. Your best ability sometimes is availability, and you're not available if you keep putting yourself in foul type of situations. He has to be smarter, and that's one of those things he's going to learn as he continues to play.
Isaiah Jackson trying to remedy the team's free throw woes. 2 for 2. That's been a rarity for the Friars.
And the crowd reacts to it. They haven't seen 2 free throws go in back-to-back in a long time.
Oh, smart move by Helt. Got Jackson in the air and dipped in underneath.
Very smart, savvy play. Once he saw Jackson in the air, just dipped his shoulder in there, took advantage of the situation. Smart, heady play. Gotta love smart basketball players.
Now, Helt is one of the few poor free throw shooters on the team at 61%. It's the first of the 1-and-1s for the Golden Eagles. And he hits the first. For those of you tuning in for Nevada UNLV, you'll be able to find it online, cbssports.com/live. As soon as it tips off, of course, we'll get you out there immediately after this game wraps up. Rich Waltz, Danny Granger will have the call. Helt 1 for 2. Here come the Friars. They've been down a dozen. What a feed. Cartwright cuts and misses.
But that's that same cut we saw early in the game. We haven't seen it any in the second half. But that back cut has been was open all first half. Marquette obviously made some adjustments, but Cartwright was able to slide through and get it right there. It just blew the bunny inside.
3 ball. Oh, air ball for Emmett Holt out of bounds.
Somebody might need to close that window up top.
And Cooley immediately calls Diallo's number, but entry comes first. So with 4 fouls, Diallo has to wait for a window to come in. Rousey's been handling Howard on the bench with 4 fouls.
Oh, that's an offensive foul. Cartwright just does it all. He can score the ball, he can pass the ball. Defensively, he competes. Really got in the Reinhardt shirt right there. Forced Reinhardt to commit the offensive foul. You just love the grit that this kid plays with.
And Reinhardt's got 2. Cartwright's got the ball in his more than capable hands. And double bonus. Time, not an ally. Each team essentially needs this game on the bubble.
Well, the time is now for Providence. If they're going to make a run, it's going to have to start right now.
Tug of the jersey, Rousey calls the play.
And the great thing for Marquette is as they're able to keep this lead at about 9, they're stealing every minute they can from Marcus Howard, and they don't have to put him in the game with the foul trouble that he has.
Cartwright contesting Johnson. Diallo's got it. Cartwright. Oh, what a feed!
Great pass. The ability to make your players around you better is so underrated. A lot of guys can't handle it, but Cartwright has mastered it.
With everyone on their feet, timeout. We'll step aside. The stretch run. Welcome on back to Providence. Marquette up 65-58 as we recap with our AT&T game summary. Points of the paint still favor the Friars. Marquette, though, deadly from outside.
Yeah, the three-point line is the three-point line and the free throw line have been what has determined this game and why Marquette is winning. From the three-point line, they've been hot, they've been sizzling, led by Marcus Howard. He has been absolutely on fire, 6 for 7 from 3. And then the free throw line has just been an absolute nightmare for the Providence Friars. They're 12 for 24 as a team. That's 50%, and they had to work their way up to 50%. So those two things have really led to Marquette winning this basketball game at this point. And now Howard back on the floor. And they were able to steal about 6 minutes where Howard didn't have to play, and the lead didn't really get cut into that much. So I know Marquette was very happy about that.
Howard, not quite in the same rhythm. Cartwright. And Marquette basketball.
But even though Howard missed that shot, if I'm Providence, I have to be mad at the look that he got. This guy is absolutely on fire. When he comes off a screen, he cannot see wide open space. He has to see a defender. You have to make Howard do something else besides shoot the basketball if you want to win this game.
Hauser in, helped out. Marquette goes smaller, but now deadlier with what it can do shot-wise.
Oh, yeah, right now, this lineup right there, they can stretch you out, shoot the ball from all over the court. And at the same time, because your defense is so spread out, they have a lot of driving angles. It's hard to play what they call gap defense when you have so many shooters on the floor.
Power play. Reinhardt took a stumble. Bullock loads up.
Hello.
And splashes down.
Let's not warm up the bus yet. Providence right back in this ball game.
Bullock's first make from deep. Howard tied up by Diallo. Jump ball.
Do you hear the energy in this building right now? This is what these fans have been waiting on. Diallo, great aggressive defense. Howard getting a little too fancy with the ball. Diallo jumps on it, forces the jump ball. Providence ball. 4-point ball game with 2 minutes to play. Let's see how it plays out.
Friars have done it with defense, holding Marquette to misses on 7 of its last 9 from the field. The Golden Eagles haven't scored in over 2.5 minutes, and Providence can make it a one-possession game.
And isn't it amazing we talk about Bullock? We talk about Bullock and how he was struggling early on, and he still finds a way. He has his 14 points, and is really close to getting that 16 to 17 points that he averages per game.
After he had a shot swatted, he has his pocket pick. Rousey, the clean steal.
That was great defense by Rousey. Got his hands in there. Bullock brought it down. Nothing good happens for a big when you bring the ball down past your numbers. That's where the guards live. That's where the little guys live, and they strip that ball out of your hands all the time.
1 point in the last nearly 5 minutes. Hauser can't erase it. Cartwright on Rousey.
Oh, wow.
And one!
In transition, this kid is absolutely special. Like, Rousey's at his mercy right here. He has the speed, the agility, the touch, the shot-making ability. And look at the bench. They're all reacting to it. They're excited. They know they are right back in this ball game.
Cartwright has struggled at the stripe. He's 2 of 6 today. Nick.
What else would you expect? Whenever these two teams play, it always goes right down to the wire. Why not today also? NCAA tournament dreams on the line.
Rolls away for
both
Jerron
these teams
Johnson.
are fighting this thing out right now. Cartwright wants the screen. He wants this shot right here. They have a mismatch inside. Bullock on Howard if they want it.
Isaiah misses. Diallo. Bullock! Timeout, Marquette.
This game has turned around in a hurry.
Providence's first lead since the 16:08 mark.
Everybody knows Enterprise picks you up. But can they solve all my transportation needs? Spoiler alert, they can.
You can buy from Enterprise Car Sales.
Sold. Car sharing. That's alarmingly sensible.
We even rent exotics.
That's good, because sometimes Mama wants to drive like a mother. Big trucks are kind of my jam. You guys make me feel so special.
Like a princess.
Exactly. Rent, buy, or share. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
8 unanswered. Providence had not known a lead since it was 44-43 with 16:08 to go in the half. And we take a look at our California Almonds crunch time performance.
Bullock just hanging around the rim right here. Right place, right time. Nice tip. And you see the bench. They know what's on the line. They want to go dancing. They want their opportunity in the tournament. And right now they might have it if they get this victory.
It's a 14-1 run. Howard. Shot denied. Hammered for a foul.
He stuck with it. And Providence didn't have to foul right there. Howard is not an excellent finisher inside with so many tall bodies. If they just would have kept their hands up straight, I'm sure Howard would have had a tough time finishing this type of layup.
It's 2 fouls on Bullock. Howard 91% at the line. The Nevada UNLV game is underway and now available at cbssports.com/live. We'll get you out there as soon as this one is over. That's a Nevada team at first in the Big East, sharing the catbird seat with Colorado State. Rams play later tonight on CBS Sports Network. While these two teams right on the razor's edge, trying not to burst a bubble. Jerry Palm had each in as 11 seeds as of yesterday, but these head-to-head matchups mean so much, and now offense-defense switches. Howard with 24 points and 4 fouls to the bench.
Yeah, Howard right now, you have to get him out of the game. You have to steal possessions for him because if he goes down and this game would go into overtime, I'm not sure if Marquette would be able to survive.
Here's that extended zone look that baffled Providence some this half. Backdoor Bullock, the reverse, and he's fouled.
And he's lived on that baseline all game long. Whenever they've gone zone, he's been able to find the cracks in that zone on the baseline. Bullock has such a smart IQ as a basketball player. He knows where the gaps are. He knows where to hide. He knows where to get into, where he makes himself available for his teammates.
Foul to Matt Helt. He is fouled out. So Marquette is down both of its centers. Luke Fisher has already fouled out. Helt joins him. And now the pressure shifts to Providence and the free throw line, where it has had a dreadful day and has had a pretty tough time over the last month plus.
Well, Providence hasn't been good at the free throw line today, but Reggie Bullock is 3 for 4. Rodney Bullock is 3 for 4. So I'm thinking he'll knock down at least one, probably both of these.
He's a 75% shooter on the year. Helt's shoulder to shoulder with Fisher, each with 5 fouls at 6'11 and 6'10. The team 13 of 25 at the line today. Make.
He was calm and cool. Like, he's not even worried about that. That's the free throw problem. That might be the rest of his teammates, but Bullock isn't sweating it at all.
He's right at his team leading average. Makes another.
Coach Cooley told us no matter how you slice it and dice it, he's going to find a way to get his 16 to 17 points.
One timeout Marquette, 2 for Providence. Reinhardt leads. Hauser hit, and he'll go to the line.
And there's Reinhardt with that underrated passing ability, driving the lane, not forcing up the shot, making the extra pass.
Ed Cooley praised Reinhardt's ability to distribute when we spoke to him today.
That's one of the things he talked about the most with him. Like, you would have thought he'd be talking about his shot making, but he loves his passing ability.
80% shooter, hits the first. He doesn't go to the line a ton. That just is 26th attempt of the year. The foul went to Bullock as his third.
And this is an added bonus. When you have a team that's such a good free throw shooting team, and these close type of games, the free throw line can be the difference between winning and losing. And Marquette, if it's a free throw competition, they're normally going to win.
Cheatham in, Howard out with 4 fouls. It's a small lineup for Marquette. Cartwright trying to post.
Well, they were looking for that back cut action they were getting so early on in the game, but they weren't able to get it. Bullock demanding the ball inside.
Lindsey wins it. Isaiah Jackson.
Get the ball to Cartwright. He'll make a play.
Tip.
Hello. Bullock on that glass. That's his second big tip in this last couple minutes of this ball game.
Timeout. You want a close game? You got it. A 1-point difference. They'll talk it over. Our game reset. Double bonus in Providence's favor and in Marquette's favor down the stretch. Marquette just called its final timeout, and Rodney Bullock just got his 19th to 20th points.
Well, in the first half, we were wondering where was Rodney Bullock at. In the second half, he showed us he's right here. 20 points now, 10 rebounds, and more importantly, 2 big tip-ins late in this ball game to give this Providence team the lead.
He has 14 of his 20 in the second half. He's been a late bloomer all year. And coming off Providence's win of the year, the upset of Creighton, can they knock off a Marquette team to add another significant resume bullet point and possibly propel Providence to a 4th straight NCAA tournament? Marquette has a lot to say about that. They haven't been to the big dance since 2013, and after getting a gaze, it looks like Ed Cooley wants to exhaust his penultimate timeout. He'll discuss the defense, 1-point margin at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. They are fired up, all standing. This crowd, a sellout, more than 12,000 strong. What are you looking for here with 15.4?
Well, with 15.4, I'm looking for switches on all ball screen situations. Coach Cooley has the lineup that can do that. Everybody on that team is versatile. You want Marquette to be forced to play in one-on-one situations. You do not want them driving and kicking because that's when they're at their strength. That's when they're at their best. You want it to be a one-on-one type of shot situation. So I think Coach Cooley was telling this team, listen, be aggressive, be into the ball, do not foul, play smart, but we do not want to give up a good look, especially from 3.
Marquette has not made a field goal in more than 7 minutes. 0 for 7 in that time.
There's the switch. Cartwright got the switch. Good, strong defense.
Pirouetting. Reinhardt. Wedges. Out of bounds. Providence ball. Steve Wojciechowski irate.
Steve Wojciechowski has to worry about getting a technical foul here. Watch out.
We'll step aside and we'll take another look. 3.7 to go. Peyton Reinhardt had 2 misses late when these teams met in late January. This miss followed by this contact.
That's a foul.
That's what had Steve Wojciechowski going bananas on the Marquette sideline.
That's why Coach Wojciechowski was so upset. Hauser was undercut when he went for the rebound. You have to allow a player to come down, especially in those situations. That's a dangerous play. But the baseline ref, it's his job, his responsibility to make that type of call. I know the referees don't want to determine basketball games, but at the same time, you can't let blatant fouls happen with under 5 seconds on the clock. That sometimes can be the difference between winning and losing.
They're taking another look, not to assess if there should be an infraction, but instead, we believe, where possession rests.
If you're not going to call the foul, the ball definitely. It looked like the ball went off of. It looks like at the very end it goes off of Hauser's leg. It's definitely Providence basketball. So Marquette can't mess around right here. As soon as this ball comes in, they have to foul immediately.
It is double bonus for both teams. The game's only timeout that's left belongs to Providence.
And in that type of situation, that can hurt you as well. because if he hits both these free throws, if you have one timeout left in the bag, that's where you can throw the ball to half court and then maybe give yourself a chance, a better chance at a three-point shot later on in this basketball game.
It'll be Isaiah Jackson, 76% free throw shooter, the transfer out of George Mason to the line. The Nevada UNLV game underway, now available, cbssports.com/live. We'll get you out there as soon as this one wraps up. Now Marquette has a number of deadly outside shooters. So even with 2 free throw makes here.
But it's going to be hard for Marquette to get anything up besides a half-court heave with 2.3 on the clock. That's why you want to keep the timeout. One of the things playing at Carolina, playing under Coach Smith, Coach Guthrie, they always believed that they wanted to keep a timeout in the bag just for these situations. They never wanted to overuse their timeouts because with 2.3, if you could throw the ball close to half court and get a timeout, now you give yourself a chance to run an end-of-game play. But right now, Marquette's just going to have to try to run maybe a full-court pass and maybe get a fling at the basket. They're probably not going to get a quality look.
Howard has subbed back in. Providence subs Bullock out, sends in Holt to front against Hauser. Marquette has made 11 threes in the game, just above their Big East leading average. Hauser can run end line. Bounce to Reinhardt.
He stepped out. He stepped out. And that's what I was talking about with the timeout. If you run that exact same play, catch it there, call a timeout, now you give yourself one more chance to get a good look at a three-point shot. The loss of not having the timeout really hurt him in this situation. Reinhardt clearly steps out of bounds. It looks like Providence is going to pull this thing out. This is a big-time win for Ed Cooley and the Providence Flyers.
There's a foul. Howard is fouled out. 0.4 of a second show, and the Friars on their way to a 4th straight win. That'll pull them even in Big East play at 8-8, with victories over Butler, Xavier, at Creighton, and if this holds against Marquette.
If it holds.
It is live sports.
You're right.
Crazy things happen.
Anything can happen.
VCU St. Bonaventure happened. VCU GW happened.
This is true. This is true.
16-4 run by the Friars down the stretch as their defense, led by Ed Cooley, suffocated the sterling Marquette offense.
Yeah, this has just been a testament of will. Providence could have easily given up in this game. When they were down 12, it looked like Marquette had the game in hand. They could have went away, they could have folded, but they kept fighting. They kept chipping away. And over time, their stars stepped up. Bullock really came to play down the stretch, and they were able to win this basketball game. Bullock and Cartwright played great. Marquette, some of their guys were a little bit missing in action down the stretch of this game, and there was a foul call that was missed by the ref on the baseline that really hurt Marquette as well.
Big free throw.
That'll do it. It's academic now.
Reinhardt heaves. Providence rolls. The Friars have won 4 straight and significantly enhanced their chances at a 4th consecutive journey to the NCAA tournament. How does it impact the Big East standings? Will Villanova clinched the Big East regular season crown, a record 4th straight with a win over Creighton. But Providence and Marquette now even at 8-8. Seton Hall right there as well with a win at DePaul earlier today.
Looking good for Providence right now. Their tournament chances just got a lot better with this victory.
Final score 72-69 for Brendan Haywood and our entire crew. I'm John Sadak. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Coming up after these messages, we send you out to Las Vegas, Nevada, UNLV.